Hey guys, Jacob here with ePoolSupply. Today, we are going to completely rebuild all the moving parts in an MX6 today. So stay tuned, we're gonna rip this thing apart. All right, and we're back. So today, I have, as you can see here, an MX6 and an Elite, an MX6 Elite. So quick overview, these are pretty much the same dang cleaner. Look at the bottom. This thing has a little scrubber attached to it. This is the cyclonic scrubber. So these things are actually interchangeable. So if you have a regular MX6, you can buy just the cyclonic scrubber kit and put it on there. And I'm gonna show you how to do that in this video. So first things first, I'm gonna show you how to completely take all the moving parts out of this thing and then rebuild it. So this video might actually be a little lengthy, but again, I'm gonna show you how to completely dissect these things, put it back together, so that way you guys can rebuild this cleaner at home and hopefully get your cleaner back up and running. So again, this is the Zodiac MX6 and the MX6 Elite. This video will work for both of these cleaners. So first things first, we're gonna dive in. Again, this is not the MX8. We're gonna have another video for the MX8. It's the bigger, badder version. Hang on one second. This guy, that's the MX8 or MX8 Elite. We have a whole different video for that. So again, take a look at that video if you have an 8, because this video will not work for you if you have an 8. So first thing what I'm gonna do, I'm going to put the regular MX6 off to the side, and we're gonna rebuild the MX8 Elite. So again, it's the exact same cleaner, pretty much just the different cyclonic thing on the bottom. So as you see here, all these cleaners, the MX6 and the MX8, have this yellow push button. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna push it. You're gonna open it up. Looks very overwhelming on the inside. I think I have a camera over here that I can show you the inside for, and I'll walk you through what you guys are looking at right now. So you have your engine assembly here. This thing turns and turns the gearbox, which then turns the tires. And also, when this thing turns, it also turns this down here. So everything kind of goes off this engine assembly. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna access all the engine assembly and guts. As you can see, there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws you gotta take off first. So let's take those off. I have a screw gun. Virtually the only tool for this cleaner that you're gonna need is either a Phillips head screw gun or a Phillips head screwdriver. That's theoretically the only tool. If we need more, maybe we'll pop them up right here if I forgot them, but I don't think there's anything else in this cleaner that requires a different tool. So I'm gonna start taking these screws out. So now that we got our 6 screws out, you got this engine cover assembly here that will literally just pop right out. So sometimes they get a little tight, but all you do is just kind of pull up on it and this will come off. So let's put this off to the side, because we're gonna come back to that obviously last. So whatever you take off first gets put on last, and we're gonna kind of go in that order. So now, as you see here, this is my engine assembly with all the ball bearings and everything attached. The glory about this thing is you just lift it. So again, you can take it by the tab and lift it. I like to take it by one of the metal shafts, and then just lift up. The metal shaft will pop out, and then this whole engine assembly will come out. So you have this coupling on the side here. You can just pull it. It kind of gives some room. But again, all of this just comes apart. So with these engine assemblies, what you're gonna notice too is that there's 2 ball bearings on the side here. And this is actually one of the old Polaris ball bearings that's on like every single pressure cleaner. But however, the ball bearings have a little groove on the inside here. We'll pop up a picture. The grooves go towards the engine assembly. So when you're putting a new engine assembly back in, what you're gonna do, that was cool. So what you're gonna do is the little groove, these are slippery. It's like a little groove, and then it just goes towards. That's how you're gonna put new ball bearings on there. And obviously the diagnostic for ball bearings, if they're hard to move, they don't freely go like this, or if you open up and ball bearings just fly everywhere, they need to be replaced. So again, take a look at the comments down below. We have every part number and a link to purchase every single one of these parts down below. So now that I have the engine assembly out, what I'm gonna wanna do next is I'm gonna close the lid. I'm gonna take my tires off and then my gearbox. So first things first with tires, this is probably the easiest replacement ever on an MX6, is all you do is stretch them and they come right off. Other side, stretch it, and it comes right off. So I'm gonna put these off to the side, my engine assembly there, coupling, I got 5 screws because I lost one of the screws down in the cleaner when I was taking off the engine assembly, but I can hear it rattling around, so there it is. All right, put my screws together. I like to try to keep somewhat of a neat little working space so you know where everything goes back together. But now that I got my tires off, obviously the other part of the coupling just fell out because that was only attached by the tire. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. So now I'm gonna let's take the gearbox out. So the gearbox, if you can see here, has 1 screw right there. And then on the other side, has 1 screw right there. All you have to do to get the gearbox out is take the 1 screw out. It's gonna loosen. It's got like a weird end on it where it kind of stays in there. You're gonna take your finger underneath that gray part and you can really just lift and it pops right out. So it's pretty cool. So now that other screw that I showed you is what keeps the gearbox in. So when you purchase a new gearbox, it actually comes with this little screw that's attached here to the side housing. Another side note as well is if you are taking your cleaner apart and you notice these gearboxes are gray, that's the older style. They had pretty big issues with those. They would break quite often. If your gearbox is not black, replace it for a black gearbox. This is all OEM from Fluidra or Zodiac or Barracuda or one of the 14 companies that they own these days. But yeah, this is all OEM parts. That's all we recommend for this cleaner is get OEM parts right now. So they make the best parts, they warranty the longest, so get OEM parts and they'll last you a good amount of time. But again, black, you want a black gearbox. And this is side A, as an apple for an MX6, not a B. Bs are meant for the MX8. So now that I got my cleaner completely pretty much torn apart, if for some reason you want to take this top housing off, like if this coupling breaks, all you have to do is lift. So if you get down underneath here, your fingers are down below, pop it up. Clear's pretty easy to kind of replace. So now this part's sold separately. I believe that these bottom parts, do these come with the top things? No. So these bottom pieces, and again, we'll have a full breakdown. At the end of this video, we'll put a whole breakdown of all the cleaner parts for you, like a big picture schematic type thing. But again, if you log down below in the comments, links to the site, it has the full breakdown of the cleaner so you can actually get the exact name, part number, everything you want for every single part that this cleaner has. So again, top housing, pretty cool. Pretty easy to replace. So again, let's put this off to the side. So now we have, looks like a little skeleton of the cleaner. I need no, my screw gun might work. So on the bottom of this cleaner, I hope you guys can see us on the side camera over here. There's this obviously spins freely, okay? There is a screw hole right here. And you're gonna keep jamming your screwdriver in there and realize it doesn't work. And another time you're gonna see there's an arrow here and an arrow here. Those arrows have to line up. So once those arrows line up, then you can stick your screwdriver in and loosen out that screw. So now the cyclonic disc will literally just easily come out. And this is how you can upgrade yourself. So if you guys have the regular turbine assembly that goes in the bottom of an MX6, this is how you can do it. You just take the 1 screw out after you line those arrows up, and then it'll easily come out. You can put the cyclonic scrubber right back in there. So it's a good way to kind of give yourself an upgrade. The cyclonic scrubbers are meant to do what it says. It scrubs the bottom of your pool. So these little tabs right here will just brush and hold the bottom of your plaster, pebble, vinyl, whatever you got. So now we got ourselves a shell. So we've taken off pretty much every moving, workable part. A different part that you could replace are these wheels on the side. And all you're gonna have to do is pop open this side, the blue thing on the side here, there's a screw, the wheel comes off. I'm not gonna show you how to do that in this video because realistically, these cleaners have been out for a very long time. I've only seen one break over the hundreds that we have sold. So if it does, the blue cap pops off, screw, pulls out, puts on, real simple. So now I've got my skeleton of the cleaner. So we're gonna rebuild this thing the same way that we took it apart. So first things first, I'm gonna take my cyclonic scrubber, line my So if you see here, there's like a groove right there where the screw fits, and the screw area is like a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna line up the screw to the screw hole, and that way it's a little easier to kind of pop in there. As you can see, it still spins freely, but still to tighten it, I gotta line my arrows up. So my arrows are lined up. It's nice. So now that's in there, I'm gonna put my cleaner, the main housing, to go back inside. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these, and again, this thing's kind of tricky, so you just kind of line the bottom up and then push the back, and it literally just slides right in. It's real simple. This cleaner just really pushes together. It's really kind of nice, and it's held together by just a few screws if you think about it. So now I have my side body housing where my gear kit goes, and now I'm gonna attach my gear kit before I throw screws everywhere into the actual side housing. So the little black screw hole goes into these two parts. So if you can see here, it goes right inside there. And now that that's nice and flush, I'm gonna take that screw that just fell out and tighten it back up. Don't over tighten things. Everything here is plastic, so you just hammer it at the impact gun, it's going to break. So be very careful. If it's your first time, maybe just a regular screwdriver would be a good idea. So with this thing, it literally just slides into place. So literally slides into place. And again, there's a screw on the side, so I'm gonna put that screw back together. Cool. Next, what I'm gonna do is side coupling. So I've got a side coupling here that goes on the inside here. Just kind of slides in. And there's grooves that it sits on the inside. So literally it'll just kind of lock into place, which is kind of cool. And then next, take my engine assembly, reattach my drive shaft to it. Drive shafts have a bearing as well on them, but if the bearing here goes bad, you gotta buy the new drive shaft. Regardless, I always think it's a good idea to replace your drive shafts probably every couple years if you haven't done it, because these gears on the side will ground down, and that's what will actually ruin your gearboxes faster. I think these are like a $15 part. Highly recommend replacing them every once in a while. So it doesn't matter, this is a non-directional engine assembly, so you're just gonna slide it in, and that's it. So now I'm gonna line up, these fins turn, which is kind of neat, and then line it up so it slides in there. So you see it's not gonna sit in there perfectly, so I'm gonna slide my coupling back out. And now my whole everything fits in there good now. So what I can do now is reattach my side coupling completely, slide it back in the hole, and then now I can lift everything back up a little bit and then slide it back in. So it kind of just fits in there like a little bit of a puzzle. Gets kind of tricky, but again, there's like a groove for everything that sits into place. So now that that's there, I can take my engine assembly cover and then pop that thing back in there. And again, these flaps move. So if it's like this not fitting, that's because this thing's sideways. So you want to make this thing line up with the little crevice that it has right there. And then push that down. I got my 6 screws. I'm actually going to use my screwdriver for the far ones so I don't drop them. All right, so this is my last screw, so we're gonna tighten that, hand tight, and close cleaner. One thing left, 2 things left. We got 2 tires. Tires are very easy. Pretty much the same way you took them off, put them back on. You fit it around one tire, you fit it around the top coupling, and then stretch it over the last tire. And then the other side, same thing. So you're gonna put it on this tire, coupling, stretch it over the last tire. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you rebuild all the working parts in an MX6 and an MX6 Elite. Not terrible, not bad. I mean, that's probably taken us about 8 minutes, I would say. And It's pretty much how you can get your old cleaner brand new, because all these working parts are parts that are sellable. As you saw, the skeletons of these cleaners are just a solid piece that don't really go bad. So these cleaners should last you theoretically forever, as long as you just keep up on the parts and keep maintaining these parts that do wear down. I'm Jacob with ePoolSupply. I appreciate you guys watching. Tune in for the next video. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Subscribe today if you haven't subscribed. Check out the links below, and we got a lot more content coming your way. Thank you.